Hello, everybody. Welcome to the November edition or November episode of Mesa Morning Live. It's good to be with you. It's good to be here at Channel 11 Studios, a beautiful studio right smack dab downtown Mesa, Arizona. My name is Mark Cordes. I'm the host. I'm checking this out in the mirror, and it's frightening me, quite honestly. I'm kind of growing this as a COVID beard. You know how you can tell how old a tree is by cutting it and counting the rings? You can tell how long COVID's been going on by this, and it's no shave November, so this might be with us for a few more weeks. Anyway, we are excited to bring this month's version of Mesa Morning Live, and it is our Veterans Day version, which we do every year. And we thank our good friends at Salt River Project for being our sponsors for November, as they are every year. I'm auditioning a variety of co-hosts. You know, Johnny Carson had Ed McMahon, Letterman had Paul Schaefer. We're trying to find one that I can kind of mesh and gel with. And so today we'd like to welcome Mesa Chamber Board Chair and Southwest Regional, I'm going to get the title right, so let me put these on, Southwest Regional President for Global Medical Response, Mr. Glenn Kasperzik. Glenn.
Hey, thanks, Mark. I'm glad to be here today. I auditioned on Tuesday for about 20 minutes, and Sally said, you're on, so I was done deal.
We have a very critical auditioning process, and you fell into the trap.
Rigorous.
Yeah.
Rigorous.
Yeah,
yes.
Very rigorous. Well, welcome. And you've been a guest before, but
I have.
But on a Zoom call, so this is our first time being live.
Much nicer being in studio
Yes.
and having a conversation. So I think we're all zoomed out.
I think so.
Yeah, zoomed
it's
out.
It's just good to see people face to face and, you know, go crazy and shake their hands every now and then. I know.
I was going to ask the question, before you're talking about the beard. You were talking about COVID. I actually thought you grew that in 5 days for November here. I'm impressed.
Well, I have. It's the steroids I'm on.
Perfect.
And a whole nother story. We'll save that for December's episode.
Another show.
But good to have you. Tell us a little bit about what you do when you're not my co-host. What's your real job in the real world?
Yeah, so work for Global Medical Response, which here in Mesa is American Medical Response, the ambulance service. I oversee operations here in Arizona, New Mexico, Southern Nevada. Been in the pre-hospital healthcare industry for many, many years, since 1994 actually. Caught the bug, have really seen pre-hospital healthcare evolve, excited about our future. I think COVID has brought on some changes that we're going to adapt to and really focus on getting patients to the right place, right? There was a lot of people that were scared very early on to go to the hospital. We quickly pivoted around that. I think where we are today in the unknown future, we're going to have to adapt as a healthcare solutions company. So very exciting time and very scary time at the same time, Mark.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think for all of us. And I know since this is a Veterans Day themed show, you did a Veterans Day event, I think, earlier today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, very honored to be the honorary chair this year of the Veterans Medical Leadership Council. I had their annual event virtually this year, which was a great success. Continue to support such a great organization. And I think, just tagging on our previous conversation about healthcare, right, and where things are going, veterans now more than ever need that extra support. And the VMLC has been doing a fantastic job supporting veterans here locally in the community and making sure that they have access to healthcare and doing things for them. So it was proud to be part of that event today. It was definitely different in a virtual setting, but I think it was a great success overall.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for all you do for the veterans. And, you're in for a little treat. We don't get to do this often when we do this virtually, but it's always great to start off a show with some live music.
Awesome.
I think everybody loves live music. When was the last time you saw any? There's no concerts or anything. So we've got a little mini concert from the comfort of your living room. Please welcome to Mesa Morning Live. I was going to say this is your stage. The whole world's a stage. I think somebody said that once. It's always fun to start with some live music. So there's a band here in town. Well, you can tell us more about that, called Called to Serve. And today from Called to Serve, we have Mr. Jeff Senior. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mark. It's good to be here. Appreciate it.
Well, tell us a little bit about your band and what you're up to, and give us your life story.
Well, I grew up in Southern California, moved here about 27 years ago. I'm a kind of referred to as a pilot by day, a rocker by night. So two gifts that I was given are aviation and music. And so I've been able to kind of mold both of them together over the years. I'm a professional pilot, 25 years at Southwest Airlines as a captain. I was a Hollywood movie film pilot and still do that kind of work, flying aerial photo missions for commercials and feature films. And then I fly helicopters. I flew Channel 9 News. Retired from Southwest Airlines, and I'm back into the corporate flying world because I love to fly airplanes, and it's not a job to me. And then I formed Called to Serve, the rock band CTS, as a singer-songwriter about 17 years ago now, to basically inspire people of all ages to live their dreams through a positive message in music. It's kid-friendly, it's family-friendly. So everything I write is a deeper message about living your dreams, living a life. And in light of the veterans, we honor the veterans. We played in the Pentagon, Pearl Harbor. We're big into honoring the veterans, our police, and our firefighters, because those people that serve are what make this country and give us our freedom to do what we do here. So
well, I couldn't
that's
agree.
What we do with Called to Serve.
Couldn't agree more. I know you're going to help out with a Veterans Day event. Tell us.
Yeah, Veterans Day is next Wednesday. It's actually on a Wednesday, middle of the week. I will be using both of my fun things that I love to do, my passions. I'm going to fly the H-5 helicopter out of Scottsdale. I'm going to land on the Mesa PD pad over here just down the street, pick up the mayor and the grand marshal, and I'm going to give them a little tour of Mesa, and then we're going to land on the lawn over here at the Mesa Amphitheater. And then I get to jump on stage and play with our rock band. So
Now, come on.
Cool. Man, that's a great gig.
gonna be fun.
That is a great
Yeah.
day.
But it's all about inspiring, actually, people of all ages, but the kids, and maybe inspire them into music or aviation, or, I'm just this regular guy that is living the dream. And so
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
What a-
our mission.
What a full day. Bruce Springsteen can't do that, folks. But this guy can. Why don't you went to the trouble of bringing this in, and we did a little.
Yeah, they wanted a little live music.
So let's do it. Take a look. Tell us what you're going to sing.
This is off of our third studio album, which we just released this year, and recorded it here in town with platinum record producer Jeremy Parker. And it's a song I wrote, which I think is real poignant for today's world with COVID. 2020 has been quite the year for all of us, and I kind of compare it to 9/11 in a sense that it's one of those moments and years that we're never going to forget. And so One Life is about, that I wrote, it's about every day as a gift, and we go through hurdles in life, we go through ups and downs, we go through things that it's not always a bed of roses, I guess, for lack of better words. And so it's about living each day. It's a gift, and we have to be careful, but we can't live in fear. We have to live our lives, and that's what this song is about. So
Good for you.
I'll play it for you.
Awesome.
Whoa, faded photographs etched on my mind, paint memories of this life. My true love on the day we met, the kids when they took their first step. It's easy to get lost in the crowd and let my feet leave the solid ground. I look around and realize I thank God that I'm alive. I've got one life that I've been given, one life that I've been living, one life puts a smile on your face. I've got one life that's been forgiven, one life can make a difference. All it takes is one life to make this world, make it a better place. Oh, oh, oh. Felt like a daytime TV show, living like there were no tomorrow. Then one look into the mirror, and it all seems so much clearer. I've got one life that I've been given, one life that I've been living. One life puts a smile on your face. I've got one life that's been forgiven. One life could make a difference. All it takes is one life to make this world, make it a better place. Oh, 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 oh. I've got one life. Oh, 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 oh. One life that I've been given, one life that I've been living. I've got one life.
Very nicely
That's
done,
awesome.
Mr. Jeff Senior. Very, very good stuff. And if people want to hear more from you, how do they do that?
They can go ctsmusic.com. We're on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, all the above. But just look up my name, Jeff Senior, SENOUR, or ctsmusic.com.
ctsmusic.com. Good stuff. And we're going to hear a little bit more later on in the show, I think.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We'd like to, at this time, welcome our sponsor. Salt River Project has helped shape the West since its founding in 1903. That was the year I was born. And their history is one of service. You know, it's sad as people believe that. To the residents of Arizona, SRP consists of two entities that operate jointly: the Salt River Valley Water Users Association, water provider, and the Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District, electrical provider. That's a mouthful. Joining us today from SRP is Director of Water Supply, Mr. Bruce Hallen. Bruce, welcome to Mesa Morning Live, and thanks for being our sponsor.
Good afternoon, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here. And let me just reach out to Jeff. That was wonderful, Jeff. Great job. Very, very nice. That's going to be tough for me to follow, but I'll allow you to hopefully liven this up because I'm just a water guy.
Hey, Jeff, are you a customer of SRP?
I'm, what am I? Yeah, I am SRP. Yeah.
Okay, maybe you guys can talk afterwards and do a little
Can I
trade
get
out.
a discount? Or, no.
We'll play
There you go.
we'll sing for water. It's a whole thing we can work on.
Sounds like a good deal to save a little money.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
It's the best commodity on the planet. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Water in the desert. You're in the right business, Bruce. Before we get into things, Bruce, we've heard from our friend Janine at SRP that SRP's workforce is comprised of 10% veterans, active guards, and reservists. Thank you for supporting our vets. We all appreciate that. Is that kind of in the mission statement of SRP?
You know, it's Salt River Project with our veterans. You know, we offer several different programs, and we have, as Janine mentioned, about 10% of our workforce, but we have programs such as an initiative to provide jobs for service members and veterans. And what we do is that we offer like a special website which uses job skill translator that enables the veterans to figure out how their education and their experience in the military can apply to jobs at SRP. And then we have an employee interest group that is made up of veterans so that veterans have an opportunity to interface with SRP leadership, have an opportunity to have some funding opportunities with other groups outside of SRP. And so SRP is very, very proud to support our veterans and recognize their service to our country. So we're very happy to have veterans as members of the Salt River Project family.
That's great. Well, I'm going to ask a question that people always ask me. I travel around the country, and when people find out you're from the Phoenix area, they always say, "Where do you get your water out there? Is there enough water?" And I always, of course, because I'm tired of traffic, I tell them, "Oh no, we're almost out. If you come, bring a canteen. But for those of us that actually do live here, tell us about where do we get our water, and please tell us we have enough.
Phoenix has done, the Phoenix metropolitan area and a wide variety of agencies, including Salt River Project, have done a lot of planning over the last 100+ years to ensure that we have a long-term reliable water supply. What's unique about Phoenix, and where it's much different than many other areas of the country, is that we always plan for drought. And so when you're planning for drought, you're always thinking in terms of, I got to have enough supply for that next dry period. It's not the wet periods that we're worried about. We're worried about, do we have enough storage in place so that we can ensure that we have water supply over these dry periods? And so you've seen significant investment in infrastructure. You have the Salt River Project, and Salt River Project's all in-state water supplies. So we have the watersheds of the Salt and Verde Rivers, 7 reservoirs, which make up a little over, not that this means anything to anybody, but it's about 2.3 million acre feet of storage on that system. And then we've developed a fairly robust groundwater system that helps augment the surface water during those dry periods. And then we have the CAP that comes to the valley. And so, the city of Mesa has access to Colorado River water supplies, Salt River Project water supplies. We reuse most of our effluent or reclaimed water. The nation's largest nuclear power plant in the country is reliant solely on reclaimed water, and that's Palo Verde Nuclear Generating Station. The city of Mesa is storing water underground, building additional reservoirs underground. They're storing highly treated reclaimed water so that they can pull that water out during those dry periods. So overall, the Phoenix area, I would argue with anyone that the city of Phoenix metropolitan area is more positioned when it comes to a robust long-term water supply than most any other city within the southwestern United States.
Well, that's awesome, because the growth is amazingly just keeps on booming, and so you just think, I hope we're staying on pace with water. It's very impressive, and Jeff, I'm sure when you're flying around to see all the canals, the amount of planning that went into bringing us water is pretty mind-boggling. But tell us a little bit about, you mentioned that you kind of plan for the drought. So you get, like this weekend, we're supposed to get rain. That's an exciting day for you, right? That's good.
Yeah, it is. We have a couple of meteorologists, and they get all excited because we only get about, a half dozen big major precip events a year. And so they're all excited. But, it's all about snowfall, snow melt, and rainfall on the watersheds that we really depend on to fill those reservoirs. And so most people don't understand that it's really not rain that occurs in the Phoenix metropolitan area, but it's this precip and this snowfall that we see in the Flagstaff area and we see in the White Mountains. All of that accumulates and runs off into our watershed, and then we store it behind our reservoirs. Now, I did give us a very glowing, remarks about existing water supplies for a lot of our existing large water providers, including the city of Mesa. But there are areas outside of the metropolitan area that weren't part of that original planning where we're looking at maybe some challenges associated with long-term reliable water supplies. So we have regulations in place that really limit what you can and can't do when it comes to growth. And we have assured water supply requirements for that growth. And so Salt River Project here recently has been evaluating a couple of infrastructure opportunities where we're running into some issues associated with sedimentation in our reservoirs. And this is kind of a unique situation, but you see this throughout the western United States. Those reservoirs are at the end of a very, very large watershed. And when you get these major flood events, we try to capture that water. Well, in that water is a lot of sediment, and that sediment settles out in these reservoirs. So at Horseshoe Reservoir, which is on the Verde system, we've lost about 1/3 of the capacity at Horseshoe due to sedimentation. So the last thing you want to do when it comes to managing water in the desert is to reduce your ability to store water for these dry periods. And so we've initiated a study on how can we replace that sediment and ensure that we continue to store the amount of water that we need to provide water to our customers and our shareholders. Well, one of the options is actually to increase the height at Bartlett Reservoir. So the thought is we'll go to Bartlett, we'll increase the height of a Bartlett reservoir, move the capacity from Horseshoe down to Bartlett. But by doing that, we also believe that there may be an opportunity to store even more water. So that means more surface water for some of these areas that are on the outskirts of the Phoenix metropolitan area that are looking for renewable water supplies and they're not depending on groundwater. And so that's a big project for us. That's something new. We're going through, this is really being led by the federal government since our assets are owned by the Bureau of Reclamation. So that's something that you're probably going to hear about and others are going to hear about. The city of Mesa is participating. The city of Mesa may have some interest in some of the storage capacity, but they don't want to see a reduction in the reliability of the water supply there at Bartlett. So that's one project that we're working on to, secure the reliability of that water supply, look into the future, looking for future potential, make sure that we have some water for future growth. And then we're looking at maybe storing some additional water behind Roosevelt Dam. We have a lot of flood control space back there, so we might try to store some additional water behind Roosevelt and then use that water supply for others.
That's awesome. Well, okay, talk to us a little bit about climate change. That's, I know that's front of mind for everybody, especially in this political season. Everybody wants to know how that's going to affect us. What do you see down on the horizon for that?
For SRP, I think you get a lot of questions about this past summer. This past summer was unbearable. It was hot. And it wasn't that we just broke a few temperature records, we shattered those records. And so I've had a lot of people have came up to me and asked the question, well, is that climate change? And my answer is yes and no. Yes, from the perspective we are anticipating temperatures to increase. No, from the perspective of the situation that we experienced this past summer is not indicative of what the scientists are telling us what's going to happen with the weather pattern. What happened this past summer was something that was extremely unique and really is not indicative of what we believe will actually be climate change. Now, with that, I guess to talk about climate change, and most people are curious about what will it mean to our water supply. Within our watershed, what's interesting about SRP, it's somewhat different, or the SRP watersheds or the watersheds of Arizona, is that we anticipate some reduction potentially in runoff. We expect it to be a bit warmer. But what happens in our watershed is that we see like snowpack build up and then it melts off during the winter. We'll get a rainstorm and we'll store that water within our reservoirs. And so it's a much different type of hydrology system where we don't anticipate a lot of impact when it comes to the overall runoff into their system. But what we are seeing is variability, which means you're going to have higher highs and lower lows. We're going to have significant events where you want to store as much water as you can. And then we believe that we're going to go into events where it's going to be extremely dry. Versus you look at California, you look at Colorado, much different situation in their watersheds. They build up these large snowpacks, and then their expectation is that snowpack's going to melt off in the late spring and the early summer very, very slowly. Well, they're seeing increases in temperature, which means there's a lot more evapotranspiration, there's a lot more evaporation. So you're not seeing the same amount of runoff coming off on those systems. So their hydrology is much different than here in Arizona.
Wow. I somehow feel a little smarter after talking to you.
Those are some big words there.
Hopefully I wasn't too boring or too technical.
No, I love it. Hey, and by the way, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but in the interest of global warming or climate change, I've tried to do my part. I've taken my in-ground pool out of my backyard. I am fracking, and I'm putting in a golf course. But I think the net benefit will be a plus.
Using reclaimed water.
Using reclaimed water, yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Hey, I'm a part-time and soon-to-be full-time resident of the White Mountains, and the big fear up there is these catastrophic forest fires. Is there anything that we can, what do we do? Help us, Bruce.
This is a major issue across the western United States, and it's really a combination of issues that we're dealing with. It's warmer, it's drier, and we haven't done a very good job of managing these forests. Most of the forests in Arizona are federal lands. So, when you look at those forested lands, most of it is federal lands, National Forest Service lands. what we need the public to understand is that this is going to be a huge problem, and we need to recreate a forest products industry to come in and remove this material. Now, we're not talking going in and essentially, cutting all the material, cutting all the large trees. We have an overabundance of trees where, historically, a healthy forest and a healthy watershed might have 20 to 50 trees per acre. We see some areas where we have over 1,000 trees per acre. And so we need to get in and thin those trees, thin those forests, because fire is a normal occurrence in these forests in the Southwest. But unfortunately, we have so much doggone fuel load that you cannot fight a fire, and they become catastrophic and they destroy everything. So whether it's, fisheries, whether it's your recreational benefits that you enjoy in the forests, endangered species, communities, and from our perspective, water and watersheds and the water supply, because all that material following a fire is going to end up into your water supply. And so we've been working with the federal government. We're looking to our customers. We're looking to the private sector. We're all going to have to invest in restoration. We're all going to have to work with industry to make sure that we can get in and thin these forests as quickly as possible. We're working with the Forest Service right now on an RFP up close to 1 million acres to be thinned over the next 20 years. We're hoping that we can start that within the next couple of years, get industry in place, build a couple of large sawmills, and start getting in there and cutting wood. A lot of this wood is not very valuable wood, so it's going to take some commitment from the private sector and others to make it happen. But, the costs associated with catastrophic wildfire, the post costs associated with that are much, much higher than us investing in these forests today. So unfortunately, it's something that's occurring throughout the Western United States, and Arizona has the exact same challenge.
Yeah. Well, real quick, because I know we're running late on time and I've kept you longer than you expected, but we, a few years ago, ASU had a grant where they would do a matching fund, and we had the Forest Service come in and do our little chunk of dirt. They cut down 2,200 trees out of 4 acres. And
excellent.
And you can't even tell it's been thinned out. It looks great.
Yeah.
And the trees that they left are healthier. They're getting more sunlight, more water. So you're preaching to the choir, Bruce. Thank you so much for being here, taking time out of your day. And thanks for all you do. You're a service-oriented business, and we appreciate it. And thanks for all you do for the veterans.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it, and appreciate the opportunity and the partnership with the City of Mesa and all your citizens. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Mr. Bruce Hallen from SRP. Thank you, sir. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Now, there's going to be a test on this later. Did you pretty much grab all that?
Trying to grab it,
okay,
process
good.
it, yeah.
Because I'm cheating off you. I'm cheating off the guy to my left, as always. Hey, next we have another great guest. Arizona has a formally recognized registered apprentice program since 1941. By the way, do you know who the governor was then? Anybody? Trivia question? The hint, Sidney Osborne. I have no idea. Currently, there are 245 registered apprenticeship programs and 4,550 registered apprentices. Our next guest has been with us before, joining us from Arizona Department of Economic Security. Please welcome State Apprenticeship Director, Willie Higgins. Willie, welcome to Mesa Morning Live. Oh, are you there, Willie?
I think he's muted himself out.
I can see Willie.
I would be the first one to do that. Thank you, Mark, and it's nice to be back on again with you.
Welcome to Mesa Morning Live, and tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your apprenticeship programs.
Well, I thought Bruce was leading me into a segue, because all of the entities that he named there, we have registered apprenticeship programs with them all. SRP has a really robust program, registered apprenticeships, very good for veterans to recruit into. Mesa itself has an apprenticeship program in their energy and water department. So we have apprenticeship programs all over the place in all industries. We recruit for vets. And that's one of the big drives this year for us, is to get more veterans, more female participations. Right now, we've got about 9% of those 4,550 apprentices are veterans. And the one good thing about a veteran entering into an apprenticeship program is they're earning while they're learning. That's what the motto is. That's what the line is, the hook, if you like, for registered apprenticeships. It's an earn while you learn model. Veterans can access their GI Bill in a registered apprenticeship program, and that's how you can help them. They can access that funding. That's cash money in their pocket, either as a housing stipend or even if they use it as an educational stipend. It's a great recruiting tool. Plus, they're in a job that they're as their skills grow, they get higher increases in their wages and their salaries the way we have the program set up. So it's really fabulous right now that we thought COVID would have really done a number on us, but actually it's worked out better because this format here that we're doing, we've been doing a lot of outreach where, for instance, it would have took me 3.5 to 4 hours to drive to Yuma, Mojave County, southeastern Arizona, or up in northeastern Arizona. I can gather a bunch of employers on this format and present to them about registered apprenticeships. I hate to say the cliche word that we're the best kept secret in the workforce environment, but we're also the best bang for the buck in workforce. And that's a quote from a Department of Labor. We're coming up this month is National Apprenticeship Week, where it's November 8th through the 14th, has been recognized as National Apprenticeship Week by the Department of Labor. And unfortunately, they didn't let me know that up until we had applied for a proclamation from our governor, Doug Ducey. And so Arizona's Apprenticeship Week actually falls from the 15th to the 21st. And so we have some programs that are going to do some outreach and promotion. And this just falls into one of those. We get 2 weeks to celebrate registered apprenticeship. And this is a great format for us to promote it in my hometown of Mesa.
That's great. You know, you talk about apprenticeships. Roughly how many occupations are open to apprenticeships?
So the Department of Labor on their website has a list of over 1,200 apprenticeable occupations that we can get job descriptions and the related training instruction portion of it. Those are already established. They've been written by industry for industry in some other part of the United States. So we can use them here in Arizona as well. Plus, being a state apprenticeship agency and DES and a partner of Arizona at Work, we can create our own programs if it's specific for an Arizona company. So everything that you can think of basically is apprenticeable. We're working on right now just the real estate appraisers. Actually, we just signed Arizona State University to a registered apprenticeship program for software developer. I'm working with University of Phoenix on another one with WazU. So there's cybersecurity, information technology. Those two partner up with each other. Construction, manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, transportation, logistics. All of the 7 industries that our Workforce Arizona Council have approved as sector strategies for the brand of Arizona at Work. We're working in them all and then some. That's
great. You know, you might have touched on this a little bit, but I know Arizona has a program called Arizona at Work. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So Arizona at Work is the brand name for all of the workforce departments. And where I'm from, Department of Economic Security is one of the partners that helps all the local areas. We've 12 local areas in the state of Arizona. And they, wherever you go, you'll see an Arizona at Work site. You can contact them. There's not a lot of walk-ins, obviously, with COVID, but they host a lot of different programs in there. If whatever you're looking for, Arizona at Work can help you find it. They can get you employment. They can get you help with all the support services they provide. So there's lots of stuff available through Arizona at Work. Again, Department of Economic Security is a big partner there, and our programs work alongside Arizona at Work. We've got our veterans team, our local veteran employment representatives work for Arizona at Work, and so does our DVOPs, our Disabled Veteran Outreach Specialist programs. They all work in Arizona at Work. So whatever you need, you just look at Arizona at Work, go to the website, and you can get in contact with someone anywhere in this state of Arizona. And more than likely, if you're looking for a registered apprenticeship program to help you with your retention rates with your workforce, well, then you just contact us at Arizona at Work.
Well, Willie, we appreciate you taking time out of your day, and congratulations on being nimble enough to work around all the things that COVID has thrown your way. When things kind of get back to normal, if and when that happens again, and you need to get to Yuma and some of these places, I know a guy that flies helicopters, and he'll sing to you while he's flying you to Yuma. So I'm trying to connect everybody together here. It's my job. Congratulations, Willie. Thanks for all you do. Keep up the good work with Apprentice. You know, there was a guy that had a TV show called The Apprentice. I wonder what happened to that guy.
Yeah, I think he'll be contacting Arizona at Work pretty soon, the way things are going.
He may be.
Yeah, he might be. Well, Willie Higgins, thank you so much, and keep up the good work, and thanks for being a part of this month's Mesa Morning Live.
Appreciate it, Mark. Thank you so much.
You bet. Take care. Now it's a fun part of our show. This is something we do every month. We have a segment called Community Spotlight. This is sponsored by Gateway Bank. For more than 14 years, Gateway Bank has worked to earn your opportunity or your trust and the opportunity to work with you in your business. 3 years ago, the Chamber was a partner in creating the Mesa Veterans Resource Center, and it has become an essential community resource for our veteran community members. Joining us today to talk about that is the Mesa Veterans Resource Center Director. Please welcome Mr. Larry Johnson. Welcome, sir.
Hello, Mark. Nice to see you. I thought I'd made it big time as I almost thought I was on the Letterman show there for a minute. But
I know. I know. I know, this is frightening. Letterman, you know, when Letterman retires and does this, he's got $1 billion and they call him eccentric. I do it and I just kind of look a little wackadoodle, but that's all right. I'm used to it. But welcome. Thanks for all you do for the veterans. Tell everybody that doesn't know what that might be.
Sure. Well, thanks first of all to Gateway Bank for sponsoring us. Yeah, the Mesa Veterans Resource Center has been in existence for about 3 years now. We offer navigation services, employment services. In fact, you mentioned Arizona at Work. They are in our office at 1 o'clock every Monday to actually help our veterans and assist them with employment. We've been successful in employing over 200 veterans at this point, and the starting wage is averaging about $20 an hour. So we've had a lot of success with that program and plan on continuing and moving forward with that. We're located at 165 North Centennial Way, just below the Chamber of Commerce, and we offer navigation services. We offer health counseling, mental health counseling. We're a conduit, if you will, to any and all services that veterans need, including housing, housing assistance, rental assistance, and then we even deal with benefits counseling, of course, to assist our veterans finding and acquiring their benefits that they've earned. So we're proud to say that we've been open since June 1st. We're open from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday, and we serve our veterans first, foremost, and always. We're here for our vets.
That's great. Well, I know the pandemic has had to alter the way you guys do business. You want to talk about that a little bit?
So we've actually created a little bit more, a safer environment, if you will. Everyone who comes into our facility is tested as far as their temperature. We also require masks. We offer hand sanitizer throughout, and we create a unidirectional traffic flow. We also have a computer center that everyone can work at. Every time anyone sits at either a workstation to work with one of our navigators or our benefits counselors, or utilizes the computer station, we make sure we sanitize that area after they're finished. So we're trying to maintain a healthy environment, but we also want to make sure that we're here for our veterans. We're also a safe space, a hydration station. So if you just need to use the computer, work on your resume development, search for jobs, check your email, we're here for you.
Well, I know the center has some future plans. Would you like to share some of those with us?
Well, what we've tried to do is evolve our operations. So instead of focusing solely on navigation, we've actually brought in a few partners, including we've partnered with the DAV, Disabled American Veterans. They come in 3 days a week to offer benefits counseling. We've partnered with CBI, Community Bridges, and they come in to help us with homelessness and rental assistance. We've also brought on a retired mental health counselor, and she came to us from the vet court system in Montana. So we're able to offer on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're able to offer counseling from a certified counselor. So we're just trying to offer more to our veterans. We're trying to do as much as we can to make sure that they have the support they need. We've also partnered with the PTSD Foundation. We're hosting MST support groups, which is military sexual trauma. We're also helping, we also have AA as well as adult children of alcoholics. And we're hosting those support groups. And we're expanding our reflection garden in the back so we can safely reintroduce and actually handle live and in person our support groups, so we can bring our veterans back in and honestly just get them back out of their homes, out of isolation. It's really causing a lot of ill effects to their mental states when they're isolated. So we're trying to create a safe space, an outdoor garden area where we can, and we're actually going to utilize that for not only our support groups, but we're also going to introduce classes like yoga, art, and we're even having a barbecue out there for our veterans on Veterans Day. So some of our support agencies. So we're looking forward to a lot of the things that we have coming down the pike.
That's great. Now, I'm sure we've got a lot of viewers that are watching this and hearing what you're doing and what your plans are, and they want to help. What can our viewers do to help the Mesa, help you guys in your endeavors?
So we actually deal with a lot of veterans who are, again, just trying to commute to the VA or get to their job interviews and whatnot. So gift cards for gas, of course, any financial donation you can make. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We operate under the umbrella of the Mesa United Way. And we are, what we do is we use people to literally sometimes hold the hand, so to speak, of the veteran and ensure they get to the services and address all the needs that they have. That said, it's really difficult to acquire grants for people to pay for salaries and so forth. Yet that's the soul and heart of our organization. We can't do it without great people. And so if you're interested, you can contact the Mesa Veterans Resource Center. We're revamping our website as well to include community partners. We'll also have, of course, donation options there, but all of your donations would be tax deductible. We're a 501c3, and we'd certainly appreciate any donation you can offer, even clothing, food. We'll be able to accept any of those items.
That's great. Well, Larry Johnson, we appreciate it. I know you're busy. Thanks for taking time out of your day, and keep up the good work. Boy, I tell you what, our veterans do it all for us. It's not right when we don't share where we can. So appreciate your time.
Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans, and thank you, Mark, for the time. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Larry Johnson. Boy, what a great cause, folks. If you can help financially, volunteer, whatever you can do, there's no more worthy charity in the Valley than those guys. So thank you so much. Hey, it's time for our special guest. We got a couple, normally we have like maybe one. We've doubled the fun today. We've got two guests, our Arizona Rangers. Now, the Arizona Rangers provide law enforcement assistance to any federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies within the state of Arizona, security services for community and civic organizations, as well as support for youth and youth organizations. And they've done this since the 1800s. Joining us today from the Rangers are James Wilson and Aaron Fritz. Welcome, James and Aaron. Good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
And that's James. Okay, there's James. Aaron, can you hear me?
I can hear you excellent. Thank you for having us.
You're more than welcome. I'm going to plead my ignorance, which I do on a regular basis. I'm not that familiar with the Arizona Rangers. I've heard of the Texas Rangers, mediocre baseball team. But who are you guys? What do you do? And what can we do to spread the word of the Arizona Rangers?
So we provide law enforcement assistance. We also provide MAD services, so security for those people who get directed to attend a victims impact panel for maybe just not obeying all the rules and the laws of the state of Arizona. So we help provide those assistances to relieve our highly qualified law enforcement partners to do the difficult work that's going on in our communities today.
Well, that's great. Anything you'd like to share with that? Your partner there, is he frozen? I think he's frozen up. There he is. There's James.
Yeah, so some of the great things that we do in the community, obviously, to get involved, we do support for the town marshal in Tombstone. We call it walking the boards down there. We meet guests from around the world, but really provide support for the local town marshal in Tombstone. We've got over 26 companies throughout the state, over 450 Arizona Rangers throughout the state. And I've been fortunate to be able to do different duties around the state. Up in Prescott Valley, Yavapai Hospital there, worked during COVID to help screen people come in and out of the emergency room. We're currently supporting the local high school association and helping provide some security there. So anywhere we can help.
That's great. Tombstone. I bet you do. I never thought about it. I bet people do come from all over the world just to say they walk down the boardwalks of Tombstone, Arizona. That's awesome. Now, Aaron, I think you're kind of I don't know if this is the right term, but kind of a newbie to the Arizona Rangers. How long have you been with them? How did you find out about it? And what's involved with becoming a Ranger?
Great question. I've been with the Rangers almost 4 years now. I met a gentleman out in the middle of nowhere, about 45 minutes north of Heber. I purchased an acre of land and went out to inspect it. And here's a guy putting up a corner post and had a cowboy hat on, and we got to talking. He said, "Well, you look like a nice guy. You could be of service." And I said, "Well, how can I be of service to the community?" He said, "Well, I'm an Arizona Ranger, and we support law enforcement throughout the state, and we could use a guy like you." And so I came back, contacted the captain. At the time was Captain East of the East Valley Company. Made arrangements to come to a meeting. Got an application, filled it out. It's probably a 50-page application by the time you're done. And attended oral boards, got sent to the Arizona Ranger Training Academy, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. Well, Aaron, we'll start with you since you got the microphone there. What's the coolest event you've performed that you've been of service at an event over the last 4 years?
Yeah, we assisted the Pinell County Sheriff Office with Country Thunder down in Pinell County, and that's been a real great experience supporting our law enforcement partners and being out there with the 100 Club and just having people have a good time, keeping them safe while they're doing it.
That's awesome. I've never been to Country Thunder, but rumor has it there are adult beverages there. Is that correct?
There is a slight competition of who can drink the most adult beverages at Country Thunder, and a few people need medical attention, and a few people stay just under that threshold. So we're there here to support them.
Well, that's great that you're there. James, what about you? What event sticks out in your memory bank?
Well, I've done a lot of different events in the 18 months I've been with the Rangers, but for me, it has been Tombstone. Just being down there, and I met people from South America, met people from London, people from Australia. It's so great to get out and really work with the public.
That's great. How many Rangers are there? Trivia question.
You know, the last count I had was a little over 450. I don't know, Aaron may know a better number, but.
That's correct, 453.
Wow, look at you. See, like we can check that. He could have just made that up and we'll never know, but that was smooth. I like that. Hey, and by the way, it just dawned on me when we had you both on the screen, obviously you come together because otherwise you'd be the Lone Ranger. And that would be, I apologize, I haven't been able to work in a long time. My jokes are way out of tune. The Rangers are a nonprofit organization, but I guarantee you there are people that would love to help you in all the things you do. What can our viewers, I'll ask you what I ask all of our guests, what can our viewers do to help you out?
They can do a number of things. We've got people who can volunteer and become a ranger. We have associate rangers for people who don't quite want to take on the risk of the uniform and carrying a duty weapon. Those associate rangers vary from attorneys to just lay people who want to help put together a booth and support children. We were able to deliver about 2,000 pairs of shoes to kids in the last few months. We support Sunshine Acres there in Mesa, which is a wonderful adoptive care program for children. And so they can provide us with suggestions of how we can impact the community more.
James, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I really think it's about volunteering and getting involved, or recommending people at least consider it. I'm a full-time realtor, and one of my clients was getting involved with the Rangers, and I could go down to the pet shelter, but I also knew I had a background where I could really get involved with the Rangers. So just getting involved in helping the community, that's really a passion for almost everybody here, trying to help.
Great. Well, Arizona is a huge state. The land mass is massive, and 453 people probably doesn't cover it all. If somebody wants to be a ranger, what's the first step? Because I'm thinking about it. I'm just going to warn you right now, I'm thinking about being a ranger.
50-page application.
Application? Well, okay. Any suggestions? Look, they're both avoiding it because they know I'm just not qualified.
They're trying to make it 5 pages.
Yeah, exactly.
No, everyone's qualified. We've got a gentleman who serves kind of as our ambassador. We'll connect you to him. You can go online to www.azrangers.gov and read all about it. There's a link there that you can get connected to a local company. So the first thing is to find that company in your community. We're the East Valley Company. We meet right here in Mesa at the chamber offices. And you can get invited to that meeting, learn more about what duties are going on and what that company is doing for its community, and then receive an application. And you go through that application process, and we'd be happy to entertain anyone. We have rangers that are young, old, male, female. It's something that a lot of people can participate in. It's just, you got to want to do it.
That's great. And by the way, I would like to, before you get out of here, I would like to apologize for that Lone Ranger joke. And it was actually not the worst one. I was going to do a pick-a-nick basket Mr. Ranger Sir joke, and I knew that would not fly. So I went with plan B, and I apologize for that. But you guys, that's awesome what you do. I guarantee you, what kind of events do you have coming up that maybe people can see you at or would like to come check out?
Well, let's see, we've got multiple different high school hockey events. This Friday night, we're in Scottsdale. Saturday, we're in Scottsdale. We're in Mesa. We're in Chandler. We just got done with, there was a Second Amendment gun rally in Tempe about a week and a half ago. We, of course, have the offender panels, the victim impact panels for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. There'll be one of those. You probably don't want to go to that per se because the court's ordered you there, but that'll be tonight. We've got one of those in Phoenix. And so we're all over the valley just getting involved. That's very cool. Aaron, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, just call us up. We're all available. www.azrangers.gov, and we can get you connected.
That's great. Well,
I would just add real quick, the thing about the Lone Ranger, the nice thing for safety, we always work in pairs. So you'll never have to be worried about working alone. We always work in pairs, so you're going to be, in good hands with a partner.
That's great. A lot of times our special guests, we exchange gifts. If we're in person, I would give you a gift, and obviously there's no pressure. But if you could somehow get me a badge that I could keep in my car, maybe on the, I don't know what the odds are, but if I were ever to get pulled over, maybe I could flash a little Ranger badge. Is there any way? We'll talk later. I appreciate that.
Take it offline.
Yeah, maybe offline. Yeah, we won't deny that we had this conversation. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. It sounds fascinating. That's a rich history, and thanks for adding to that. And I'll look for you at some event. It won't be Country Thunder. I don't go there. That's court order. But our paths may cross somewhere down the road, and I'd love to watch you guys in action.
Yeah, absolutely. We do weddings. We do all kinds of events. We'll see you around town.
Now, when you say you do weddings, you just provide security at a wedding?
We provide security for the guests, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe like somebody that, when they always say, if you want to not see this couple married, speak now or forever hold your peace. I thought you might be the people that make sure people don't. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'm not planning on any weddings. I've done that. But we will see you somewhere down the road. Thanks for all you do. I really appreciate you we try and be educational here as well as a little informative, a little bit entertaining, and when that fails like it did today, we like to have information. So thank you so much for being here. Good to have you guys here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And the most important people we'd like to thank are you folks that tune in every month to watch Mesa Morning Live. We can't wait until things get a little bit back to normal when we do this live at Crescent Cran Distributing on Broadway, one of our great, not only sponsors, but our members at the Mesa Chamber. It's a great place to come and get together and network and slap each other on the back and help each other out business-wise. Those days will come, and we can't wait for that to happen. But in the meantime, boy, we appreciate you tuning into this and jotting down some information as you hear it. Go to the website, support all these great groups, support our veterans. We really appreciate that. Let me see if I've got any housekeeping here that we want to. I mentioned thanks to the Rangers, thanks to Larry Johnson, Willie Higgins, and Bruce Howland from SRP. Glenn, thank you for being my co-host.
This was a great show.
Well, you're only a second or third. We had a co-host before, Mayor John Giles.
I've heard, yeah.
And I don't know, he claims to be busy, so maybe he's not available. Don't tell him I said this, but I think you did a bang-up job as my sidekick.
We won't tell him. I had a blast doing this. This was fun. This was so informative today. I mean, there was great guests and learned a lot about water and watershed and, the veterans, the support for the veterans and the apprenticeship. I mean, those are things to help those veterans as they transition back out from the military into their normal civilian life. The resources that are available here in the community, people need to tap into that.
That's right. Well, Mesa is a growing community. It's one of the, Sally, what size is Mesa now? What is it? 35th largest city in the country. And it's booming, it's growing, and part of the reason is it's such a great place to live, work, and call home. And a lot of our guests that you see on Mesa Morning Live contribute greatly to that. There's other places that have the same weather we do in the valley, but Mesa's special to everybody that works here and lives here. So there's no better way to wrap this up.
None.
I got a guy here. He flew in, singing the whole way. Let's send everybody out with a little bit more entertainment. Would you like to tell us about this song and where it came from?
It's the video. And actually, speaking of the Arizona Rangers, I have to give them a plug. We do numerous events all over the valley for veterans and first responders. And my personal friend, Mike Droll, with the Arizona Rangers, they've come out to a lot of our shows. In this video, you'll see I wrote this song. It's called We the People. And it's a music video, and it's honoring those that serve. And the Rangers are actually in it.
That's great. Very cool.
So they come out to our show. We do a flag ceremony where we unfold a 20 by 40 foot American flag that flew on the USS Enterprise. And we play the song live. We get the audience involved, and the Rangers always come out. And so the Rangers truly rock. They're amazing guys, and we can't thank them enough. This is called We the People.
That's awesome. Before we kick to the video, tell us again where people can hear more about your music.
Yeah, our website is ctsmusic.com. And you can also just check my name, Jeff Senior, Senour, on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Facebook. Friend us on Facebook. We'll be at Veterans Day out here right in the green area there of the Mesa Amphitheater. In fact, the Rangers are going to park the helicopter. They're doing crowd control for us as I come in and land and blow the cars over. So we're going to, but that's next Wednesday, Veterans Day, the 11th. And so, but ctsmusic.com.
That's great. Well, we thank you, Jeff, for being here. Thanks to all of our guests. Thanks to our viewers. We'll be back with you. What's the date in December? Do we know? I'm throwing curveballs to Sally here. It's in December. So keep an eye open for Mesa Morning Live, December version, December episode. You guys make it a great day. Hang in there. We're going to get through this. And in the meantime, enjoy some more music.
This is for our nation. This is for those who serve. Thank you, our veterans, our police, our firefighters. This is called We the People.
We are the sons and daughters, brothers and sisters of one. We are the home of the free, stars and stripes high above. We are the light of hope, the road to every dream. We are the mountains and oceans, from sea to shining sea. We are free. We are free. We We are light in the darkness, hope for the hopeless and lost. We are the compass to guide you through stormy seas. We've been tossed. We are free. We are free. We are the people. Stand up for what you believe. Fight for your right to keep that flame that burns for freedom. Shout out in God we trust. Send out your endless love. For many we become one. We are free. We are free. We are the people. We're gonna stay. Gonna change. We're gonna change the world. One heart at a time.
God bless America.